Hey, shalom, shalom. I want to begin this lesson giving all praises, all glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakodash. Also, I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that do rule and teach well. And as always, peace, love, and many blessings unto the elect. This is your brother Atazawan from the GMS Atlanta camp, coming back through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, with another lesson. Lord willing, I do hope and pray that it's edifying. Okay? This lesson is going to be entitled, you are responsible for your own peace. You are responsible for your own peace. And when I speak about that, I'm speaking about your inner peace. Okay, the peace within your mind. Okay, we live in a chaotic country. Okay, America, Babylon the Great. All right, everything is confusion, chaos, and left-handed energy. And we have to dwell here. We have to be here to serve a purpose for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And in the midst of us being here, we will encounter certain moments of chaos. That's the spirit. As soon as I said that, this ambulance comes, rambling by, right? But as we're living here, we will be faced with moments of confusion, moments of chaos, just annoying situations, vexing, grief, whatever the case may be. We will encounter these different things. And we still have to maintain our inner peace. Okay? We still have to maintain our inner peace. We still have to create environments for peace to grow. Okay? Breeding grounds for peace. Okay? Because we are the children of peace. All right? If you'll notice that there are people out here who allow circumstances and situations to dictate their mood. Okay? So then by doing so, you become a prisoner of that particular emotion, because at any given moment, anything that happens to you can trigger you or set you off. OK, but those who truly hold the power can manage their emotions and constantly have inner peace in moments of chaos. And we see that all throughout the scriptures. OK, the men of the Bible, when faced with obstacles, challenges, afflictions and things of that nature, they always maintained a mind frame or a framework of peace. OK, and that's faith. All right. To be at peace with something. All right. That's understanding. All right. And I want to read a couple of definitions from this word on the Edom Online and go into the scriptures, because you'll notice that there are brothers, okay, or believers who, you always see that they have some type of controversy. They always have some type of gripe with something or somebody, always in the chat asking for a curse, always, getting into it with coworkers. Every time you turn around, it's an issue in their life. OK, and it's like we have the scriptures to comfort us. OK, like the scriptures tell us in the book of John, the 15th chapter. OK, we got the comforter. All right. So why is it that you are always in a chaotic mind frame? Why are you always vexed? Why are you always, and I'm not saying that we're not going to be vexed, so don't get me wrong, but to consistently be in a mind frame of negativity when we have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, we have the scriptures to comfort us. The Lord has given us the name so that we can pray, you can fast, you can do certain things to create peace for yourself. So why constantly put yourself in these chaotic, negative mind frames when you can put yourself in a peaceful mind frame? All right. So the word that I wanted to dive into for peace is reconciliation, silence, permission. But the key word right here is tranquility or absence of war. OK. Now, we know that the scriptures say that no man who warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this war. So, of course, we're at spiritual war. OK, we're battling unseen powers and principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. OK, so we understand that, and we understand that we have to fight these spiritual battles. But you have to also remember that sometimes the battle is about how you approach it. OK, you ever see those old war battle movies, and when they're fighting, they love it. They're just, in the moment of war, but then after the battle is done, they find moments of peace. And that's how we have to be. We can't constantly look to be in chaotic environments. Okay? So it says tranquility or absence of war. So you're not always at a mental war 24/7. Okay? Yes, there are moments where you're supposed to be meditating. You're supposed to be reading. You're supposed to be praying. You're supposed to be fellowshipping and breaking bread. You're supposed to be studying, doing videos at camp. These are moments where you're creating peace for yourself, so that when you are tested and tried, okay, you can actually properly approach that spiritual war the right way. All right, so let's get into the scriptures. It's going to be a quick lesson because I'm at the plantation. So I'm going to just read, these scriptures that I, copied into my notes. This is 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10 and verse 11. It says, for he that will love life and see good days. And I know that the scriptures say, if you love your life, you shall lose it. And if you hate your life, you shall gain it. Now, what is that talking about? That's not talking about you per se as an individual, because you're supposed to love yourself. The scriptures say that you're supposed to do good unto thyself. Okay? You're supposed to love your neighbor as you love yourself. So when the scriptures say that you're supposed to hate your life, it's speaking about being in this current world where we have nothing. We're under the rule of Satan. Okay? We're under the world of darkness. Okay? So there is nothing to love about this particular life. Okay? But you yourself as an individual who's striving for the truth, you're supposed to have love for yourself. All right? So love life. Love your life. Okay? And that's why we eat good. If we didn't love ourselves, we'd be eating like shit. We'd be, pretty much running ourselves into the ground. All right? It says, and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil and his lips that they speak no guile. Verse 11, let him eschew evil and do good. Let him seek peace and ensue it. Okay? And I was speaking about this to the brothers last week in the post-camp, gathering or briefing, so to speak. And a brother brought this scripture out. Okay? So you have to maintain the mind frame of peace in the midst of chaos. You have to create that for yourself. You're responsible for that. Okay? If you're thinking that Babylon is going to bring you peace, if you're thinking that your job is going to bring you peace, your bank account going to bring you peace, your new ride or your new house is going to bring you peace, you're going to be sadly mistaken. Okay? Your peace has to be predicated upon wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And that's what gives you spiritual tranquility. Okay? Even when you're going through stuff, even when you're going through an affliction or a trial. Okay? You're still going to have peace within yourself because you understand why it's happening to you. Okay? So seek that peace, man. Don't get caught up into the negative Nancy vibration. Okay? Where you're trying to overcompensate with negativity to prove that you believe. You don't have to operate like that. Okay? Esau just pushed out a vibration out here where he just dumps massive amounts of cortisol into you through stressing you out with bills and your woman bugging out, the frequencies bothering you. Okay, the hormones and shit all up in the food, your boss getting on your nerves. Okay. And now now when you find yourself in a situation where you're just relaxing and you comfortable, now you got to figure out how to create some type of chaos because you're following after that vibration. And that's what you see most women do. When everything is going good, they create shit, to fuck the vibe up. So seek that peace, man. Be in peace. Create those moments of peace for yourself. All right. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 8 and 9. Blessed are the pure in heart. Now, who are the pure in heart? Really, it's starting with the elect. Okay. The 144,000, the 1/3, the scattered multitude. Okay. That's the pure in heart. Okay. Tahar ba lab. Tahar ba lab. Pure in heart or mind. Okay. And how are you pure in mind? By the washing of the word. Okay. The scriptures. All right. It says, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Right. So, we're all supposed to be peacemakers at the end of the day. Yes, we dealing with the Edomites, and we dealing with the enemy, and we're behind enemy lines, and we got, all these different spirits coming up against us. But the scriptures tell you that blessed are the peacemakers. So the Lord, that's an art. Okay, when you behind enemy lines, and you can use diplomacy to, lessen the situation, for lack of better words. Okay, that's being a peacemaker. And our forefathers did the exact same thing when they were in situations with being approached by the enemy, and rather than them stirring up controversy, they would use wisdom or guile to create moments of peace. All right. So blessed are the peacemakers, brothers. Remember that scripture. All right. Romans 12:18. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you. Now, of course, that's a disclaimer. If it be possible. All right. It says what? Live peaceably with all men. And that's why it says if at all possible, because there are really some people out here where it don't matter what approach you try, it ain't going to be no peace with that person. This person will always create a scenario for confusion, for an argument, just a problem. Okay? And those type of people you just stay away from. You might be a neighbor, a coworker, a relative. Hell, even your woman. Somebody, you affiliated with, or, somebody, just try your best to live peaceably with all men. Okay. But you're going to have those certain individuals who just got extremely high levels of Satan on them. And it ain't going to be no peace to them. And that's why you stay away from them. You stay away from the world. Okay. But within yourself, you have to create those environments or breeding grounds for peace. It's very important, man, because this place will stress you the fuck out. Excuse my language. It will stress you the fuck out, man, if you approach it in the wrong way. Okay. You're going to see your health deteriorating. Your facial structure going to start to sink in, getting bags under your eyes, wrinkles on your forehead. Okay. Everything is going to start to deteriorate you. Because why? Because you're allowing this world to dictate your peace. You're supposed to dictate that. All right. This is the final scripture that I'm going to read in this lesson before I get back to work. This is 2 Corinthians 13:11. Finally, brethren, farewell. Be perfect. Be of good comfort. Be of one mind. Live in peace, and the love, Salaki, and the God of love and peace shall be with you. So live in peace. See, the Lord don't deal with chaos. The Lord don't deal with confusion, okay, and variance and all of that within the body or within yourself, okay, being tossed to and fro, conflicted with certain things. The Lord deals with understanding. The Lord deals with peace. The Lord deals with edification. All right. So you're responsible for your own peace. With that, I'm going to go ahead and close it out, giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash. Double honors once again to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, honors, and blessings to the elect. Shalom.